that backfire though. So I get asked a lot why I bought a WRX over an STi, and I also get asked a lot why I don't sell my WRX and get an STi. And there's obviously a lot of reasons, but the biggest one being money. STIs in my area that are unmolested and in decent shape are about 2 to 3 times the price of a WRX. So given my financial situation, which seems to be the case for a lot of my viewers as well, we all seem to be like in a similar situation, similar age bracket, you know, being a college student and working part-time, you don't have a lot of money. So getting an auto loan is probably your safest bet, unless you can get, you know, someone to buy the car for you, which isn't the case for a lot of us. So you usually default to an auto loan, and then you have insurance, which isn't cheap at all. And most people who buy these cars want to do stuff to the cars. People who buy these cars are usually into cars. So buying a WRX is the safer bet because you'll have money left over. You're not going to be wrecked for monthly payments as you would with an STi. So buying an STi, yeah, I mean, it's the STi, it's awesome, but you'll be broke and you won't be able to do anything to the car. You won't be able to modify the car, which is why you wanted the car to begin with. And you really can't do that with an STi if you're strapped for money. So the next bet would be the WRX, which is, like I said, 2 to 3 times less than the STi. And this way you'll have money left over. You're not, you know, throwing your entire paycheck on car payments. You'll have money left over to be able to modify cars. You'll have money left over to be able to learn cars. And that's what the big thing was for me. I wanted to tinker with the car. I wanted to learn about cars. I wanted to get in some wrench time. And, you know, like I said, when you don't have any money, you really can't do that because there's not much you can do to an STi without money. So with the WRX and with money left over, I've done everything you've seen on this channel so far. I've done all the work myself, and I learned more about cars than I could have imagined, you know, back when I first bought this car. I know a hell of a lot about cars in general now just because of having this and playing with it and learning how things work and what happens when you do this and what happens when you do that. There's more to it than just buying a catback exhaust or putting on mud flaps. I mean, those are the stereotypical things that people think. No, there's way more to it. As long as you have money to make there be more to it. Now, if you had an STi, that'd probably be your limit there, because anything after that would require some more money, which you might not have depending on your financial situation. So with the WRX that I have now, I bought it when it was bone stock, literally nothing done to it, and now it is stage 3 modifications. I've been through this roller coaster journey of exterior modifications, which right now I'm happy with the way it looks. So obviously I need a paint job, but as for body parts and panels and shit, it needs side skirts, but other than that, it just needs a paint job and it's done. And I did all the work myself. Interior mods, I had the interior gutted, and now it's back to trying to get it to an STi look. I've done all this wrench time. I own the car for 3 years, and I'm no longer intimidated by simple projects like changing fuel injectors, changing turbos, putting on external wastegates, changing the carpet on an interior, front bumpers, lights, wiring. I'm no longer intimidated by that because I've done it myself, and I think that's important if you're into modding cars, is learning. And because I liked modding my engine, like I said, I'm stage 3, so I have the intercooler, I have the turbo, I have the full exhaust, the intake, the boost controller, the injectors, got all this stuff that I did myself. And I didn't just buy the parts and put it on. I also researched what happens when you buy different types of parts and put them on, and why I chose the certain parts that I have now over the other parts. And by doing that, I learned, you know, how engines work, how compression and boosts, you know, correlate. All these things I've learned, and I don't think that I would have learned that had I bought an STi. Obviously, I could have learned it, but I wouldn't have had the means to, because I wouldn't have been doing the work myself. I wouldn't have been doing anything to the STi. So I did all this work to it because I had money left over. Yes, at the end of the day, the STi is still a better car, but it's also still very expensive, and I'd still be paying a pretty penny per month on the auto loan. Another thing that's hard to explain to people that aren't really into cars is this is a hobby. It's a form of having fun, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. It's doing stuff to your car, it's not like maintenance. Like, obviously with maintenance stuff, that's when we add up prices. When we get back from a garage after having a garage fix our parts, that's when we add up money. And I think it's natural for people who aren't into cars as much to do that with the modifications, where modifications shouldn't be compared with maintenance. So you put on wheels on your car, I mean, yeah, wheels aren't cheap, tires aren't cheap, but you did it because you wanted to, because one, it's fun just jacking your car up and putting something new on it, having something new to look at. You did it because it's fun, and that's what you chose to spend your time and money on. So I don't think it's right to put a total grand price on something, because that makes it seem negative, and it's not negative if you're enjoying it. Because I get asked on Instagram a lot, how much did it cost you to do all of this work? Like I said, I never went back and went through all my parts that I bought and added up the prices. Like someone who likes snowboarding, you wouldn't go back and check out every ticket you bought or every season pass you bought and add it all up throughout the years. You just don't do it because it's something that you enjoy doing. You don't even think about it. You work so that you can play. You know, work hard, play hard. This is my play right here, the car. But like I said, to buy a clean, unmolested STi with lower miles, you're looking at 20 grand, easy. Same goes for Evos. They're gonna be in the 20 grand ballpark. Now you start lowering down to $15,000, you're gonna be getting to high mileage or molested. When I say molested, I mean was or still is heavily modified. My car would be considered molested. And when a car is modified, they usually don't have the same value as if they were stock. So if I had to suggest to someone whether or not to buy a WRX or STi, I couldn't answer that, because I'm not in control, nor should I have judgment of your financial situation. If you can afford it, if you think you can afford the monthly payments or the car itself and still have money left over to modify it, if that's what you're trying to do, then hell man, get an STi, definitely. Because I talk about eventually STi swapping the car, getting the Brembo brakes, getting that 6-speed, getting a built EJ257, which is the STi motor if you don't know. And that's all expensive, yes. And at that point, you know, the argument is, oh, why didn't you just buy an STi? At this point, it's too late. I have this car, I've done so much work to it, I wouldn't even think about selling this car and buying an STi. And to be 100% honest with you, it'll give me an excuse to further increase my knowledge of working on cars. I've never pulled an engine out of a car. I've never pulled a transmission from a car. I've never swapped brakes on a car. I've never pulled a rear diff. I've never pulled the drive shaft. You know, this is all things that I'd like to do and learn. I've never rebuilt a motor. I'd love to buy, you know, a stock STi motor and just rip it down and rebuild it. Put forged internals in it and, you know, learn. And that'd be my excuse to do it. And, you know, obviously I'm going to wait until I'm out of college to do that kind of stuff, but those are my goals because I like doing it. I know it's going to be fun. And it'll be more mine, I guess. So don't mistake anything I'm saying as WRXs are better than STIs. It has nothing to do with performance. Anyone with a brain cell could know that an STi is clearly the better car. So if you have any questions or comments on that matter, feel free to comment, Instagram, message me, whatever. But anyways, I made my choice and I couldn't be happier with the car. And there's a sense of pride, I guess, because you've done all of that yourself.